Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Buster! We run things are run we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Of England, the Western world beacon of Christianity, preach condemnation on all engaging in sodomy, an abomination and insult to the Almighty, and orders the execution on all found guilty. Now it's the same church committing sacrilege by endorsing same-sex marriage openly, giving it their blessings. Now they're trying to get African bishops to do the same thing. Here's this stupid question I'm asking. Premier Brantley, tell me, where do you stand on the church position of same-sex union? Did you sign on to this at a UN convention that in Little Nevis a man could marry a man? We may be small, but against this we should stand tall. I know that a church divided against itself must fall. Them African bishops not accepting this at all. They know that a church divided against itself must fall. Tell the truth.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Socrates, and you're logged on to WINNFM 98.9 on the FM dial. You're logged on for another episode of Voices. It's approximately 3 minutes done after the 11 o'clock hour. And we want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our many viewers and listeners around the globe. Rosemary up in New York. Example, Jennifer Richards over there in Atlanta. Chris Collins in the UK. Valentine Monish, he's at home. Alfonso Bridgewater. Mr. Eugene Howell. Sylvian Henry, Cultural Journey, Beulah. Amber Zara, Cleo, Trevor, and over there in Anguilla. Petra in Antigua. We've got you covered from the studios of WINNFM 98.9. For those observing milestones, whatever they may be, we celebrate or commiserate with you, no matter what the case. We extend our condolences to the family of and friends of Dr. Leroy Henry, more affectionately known as Pacer. We understand that he transitioned yesterday. We'll speak a bit more about that later on. Daily we hear about the passing of our loved ones, of persons in various standing in the society having to undergo treatment for medical emergencies. While we boast that we are blessed, we sometimes take too much for granted. We need to just, take a pause, count the blessings, and know how to live with each other. Now, the song that was played at the top of the program was designed to segue into a topic I want to, expand on. I think it's worth to be put out in the public for a bit of discourse. There's a news item that I will ask the engineer to cue up and play. We're going to listen to that and then speak on the topic. If Mr. Sergeant, are you ready for that? Yeah, the clip that we kind of highlighted. So give it a listen, folks, and let's have a little discourse on this if it's something that you want to talk about.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, a diplomatic row has been simmering between Washington and Kingston over Jamaica's refusal to accredit the spouse of an American diplomat.
Now, the dispute is threatening to sour diplomatic relations between the traditional allies.
Milton Walker has more in this report.
Earlier this year, the United States government wrote to the Jamaican government seeking its approval for the married partner of a diplomat about to be posted to Jamaica and who is in a same-sex relationship to be given diplomatic immunity and all the privileges of a diplomat. It's believed the Jamaican government did not respond to the request in a timely manner. The US sent another diplomatic note demanding a response. The Jamaican government responded, rejecting the request. A senior government source told TVJ News, quote, that an approval of the request would mean Jamaica recognizing same-sex marriage, which is illegal in this country, end quote. Our sources tell us the US then responded, rejecting a request from the Holness administration to extend the stay of 3 Jamaican diplomats in our embassy and consulates in the United States. The US served notice that the trio must leave immediately after their 5-year diplomatic visa expires. This is in contrast to what now obtains, where extensions to diplomatic visas for Jamaican diplomats beyond the 5-year period would be routine. Among those affected are Jamaica's ambassador to the United States, Audrey Marks, and Consul General Oliver Mayer, based in Miami, who the Americans say must leave and return to Jamaica this year. It's not known what other diplomatic measures, if any, the US government might take against Jamaica in light of the government's refusal to grant immunity to the spouse of one of its diplomats. Milton Walker, TVJ News.
Of England, the Western world beacon of Christianity, preach condemnation on all engaging in sodomy, an abomination and insult to the Almighty, and orders the execution on all found guilty. Now it's the same church committing sacrilege by endorsing same-sex marriage openly, giving it their blessings. Now they're trying to get African bishops to do the same thing. Here's this stupid question I'm asking. Premier Bradley, tell me, where do you stand on the church position of same-sex union? Did you sign on to this at a UN convention that in Little Nevis a man could marry a man? We may be small, but against this we should stand tall. I know that a church divided against itself must fall. Them African bishops not accepting this at all. They know that a church divided against itself must fall. Tell the truth.
And this I thought I would put on the table this morning for discussion. Here we have a local calypso treating that very same topic even before that incident was known or aired. And it begs the question, if we had to be in the very same position, how would we respond or react? We've had the the news about Kamala Harris, the U.S. Vice President, going to African leaders and asking them, or more or less demanding that they adopt the same-sex policy in the country. And the leaders are pushing back. The bishops in Africa are pushing back based on the biblical principles. The African leaders are saying we have our own traditions and customs and we want to preserve them. So here you have an example now closer within the region where the same policy is being foisted on Jamaicans, and because they refuse to cut out, so to speak, the diplomats are being threatened with expulsion. But that's the topic. And as for the song, it's called A Church Divided. It's one of the more popular ones being featured in the Calypso Tents in Nevis during the Culturama celebrations. I think she placed third in the ranking on the eliminations a couple of weeks ago, and Sunday night coming, they'll be going to the semi-finals. So I'm very happy to know that the Calypsonians, once again, are at the forefront of this social issue, asking Premier Brantley, and by extension of Prime Minister, did they sign on to these conventions, whereas here in St. Kitts Nevis, a man can marry a man. I've been trying to get a gentleman to come to the station to discuss the buggery laws. I think their efforts are supposed to remove the buggery laws from the books. And I wanted to ask him why. Is there an issue with it? Do we have many persons being charged for buggery? Is it a nuisance law? What's the thinking behind it? I know for a fact this is being driven by external forces, but just to have the conversation, we are, well, my position is the same as the African leaders and bishop. We have our traditions, our customs, our morale in the way we raise our children, and though we've had persons in a society from as far back as I recall who prefer a certain lifestyle, they're not persecuted. They're not persecuted. They're not ridiculed. In any society, it doesn't matter who you are, whatever, you will come up with some kind of negative comments. But it's not the policy, it's not a national policy for us to take a certain stance against our citizens or even visitors. You're entitled to your lifestyle just as long as you don't try to foist it on others. But for us to be told that you have to adopt a policy and change your customs, your traditions, and your religion, whatever you stood for in terms of religion, you have to change that to adopt our policy, or else you'll be sanctioned and such. So that was the thought behind that song called A Church Divided. It bothers me really, but we sometimes go along happy-go-lucky, not realizing what our societies are being exposed to. When our leaders who are supposed to represent our interest, and by that I mean taking our concerns to the bargaining table. When you go there to represent a people, you have to take into consideration our concerns, our traditions, what we respect, and you negotiate to represent our interests, not just sign on to convention that's not in the best interests of our people. And then later on we found that we are locked into conventions that we had no idea were part and parcel of what's being bargained for. So that's my topic for the day. Anybody want to call and weigh in? The lines are now open. 662, and we have a call on the line as we speak. Good morning, caller. We will have lost that one. Given a chance, try to get back into the program. We would like to hear what you have to say. 662-0989, 466-0989, 762-0989. And we go back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller.
Greetings, Kingston.
With respect. Morning, sir.
Give thanks to the topic. Give thanks to the musical sharing. It's very appropriate. Any sector that divided against itself will fall.
Certainly.
Definitely. Unity is strength, you know. Okay, before we go on the topic, we want to say something quickly. I'll be glad Jamaica is in the air too, because earlier, in response to a sound made by someone on the radio concerning the camp crime intervention by the police and others, in response to something he said about visiting St. Kitts and the phrase, the people want to know if they can come because of the crime thing, they can come and be down at Port Zamte's place. We responded and said the same thing he said of Jamaica. When you're from the land on the airport, it's gunshot, you know. But we said that Jamaica is not like that. We lived there for almost 30 years, and killings are connected. People don't just walk and kill people like that. People go to university, come back home. Even the same, even our family, Sylvie, who responded, she went to Jamaica and she returned. I have my virgin of green pants partial day. He just lost it. He just losing one of his feet. Ross Glenn, he stayed in Jamaica in the ghetto in the first street where Bob Marley sing about at the first or second street for almost 40 years, and he came back home alive and well. I've been there, and also my son, and we are back home. You know, so Jamaica is not like that. These things are connected, so we don't want to go around with the idea that because of the killings in St. Kitts and Nevis, you're not safe. When you visit, when you do business or whatever, it's not like that. These things are not, these killings are not in a vacuum. They're happening because of whatever, but they have nothing to do with you who come and visit. Unless somebody come from where you come from and kill you. Yeah.
I hear you.
You want to make that straight, emphatically straight. You see, the situation with Jamaica, they intentionally did that. They know Jamaica stands. That's Jamaica stand. Jamaica do, even though they tolerate, you hear people say, oh, they kill Batman in Jamaica and they kill, no. You have anti-man in Jamaica, or Batman in Jamaican community, just because we have them kind of people in our communities, and they're good to go. They know that is Miss So-and-so son and Miss So-and-so daughter, and everyone is good. It's not like that. And they intentionally, but in spite of they embracing their people who are into that kind of lifestyle, death style, whatever it is, they don't just, it's not a situation where they embrace that kind of style of living in totality from anybody. You can't chuck that on them. And the U.S. know that. That's why they pick on Jamaica. They know that. They know how Jamaica set up in terms of that. Even those in authoritative position, as we can see, obviously, the people who are responding. No, don't talk about the street. I mean, if Jamaica dare to embrace that, I mean, it's turmoil in Jamaica, starting from the street. That's the way Jamaica run. But then, you know, there's another bigger picture, you know, Kingston. Because what start by the morning can't come good the evening. And you see this thing called marriage?
Yep.
You see this thing called marriage? The whole act of it. The intervention, which is wrong, because marriage is sex. And they're telling you, the Christendom telling you, marriage before sex. Marriage is sex. It's not a ring, and I do, and kiss the bride, and kiss the groom, and kiss the this. No. That is why, and it starts that way. It intervenes and remove sex from its pinnacle, and thereafter come in the corruption of man married into man and woman to woman.
Got your point. Got your point.
Start bad in the morning. There's no such thing as going church. Marriage certificate. The church is guilty, and the state is an accomplice with the marriage certificate and the marriage foolishness. When you let down and have sex with a woman and a pick become, that's the only way you see two becomes in one. Ring can't do that. Sex, they remove sex from its pinnacle and replace all kind of thinking, and now we have sexual zombies. In man and woman, and man to man, and woman to woman.
Well, that's quite an opening salvo. And we always appreciate your contribution, so much appreciated. If there are no calls at the moment, we'll pause for a few kind words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs, plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Once again, good morning and welcome back to Voices. We go straight to the phone lines. Mr. Valentine Manish, good morning. How are you, sir? To the phone lines, we lost a caller. We have this caller. You're live on Voices.
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir.
That topic that you have there with burglary and what's not, the Bible tells us God destroy a whole city because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Means seeing that we country should really go into that with marrying man with man. That is strictly against God law, and anything against God law is wrong. But there is something else on my mind. This meeting that took place over Marriott a few days ago with the Minister of Tourism.
Yes.
With what she have tried to push on taxi operator. Taxi operator needs to rise up right now and speak out concerning what was discussed over into that meeting.
Yes.
She must do that. The Minister of Tourism are wanting to control taxi operator like we work for them. We do not work for them. We are independent people. The next thing that really hurt me the most is when they're going to say one cannot leave Port Dante with a job unless it is not dispatched by the SKN team and have a ticket. They will take they will take the persons out of their buses.
Passengers.
They are looking for a soap. That is a serious soap. So tourists got money to give away. Right? I want to educate taxi operators that they cannot do nothing like that. And the next thing again, that's where it was really on my mind. How are you going to tell someone that they cannot apply their job?
They cannot apply their job?
And yeah, they're saying that if you cannot apply your job, like you cannot tax the person.
Or the term they use, solicit?
Yeah, they use it. Well, I can't spell the word they're soliciting, you know. Because there is no way that could and have a meeting and lawyer up ourselves. Am I asking any lawyer out here right now who want to represent taxi operators to please come on board? Because this thing is leading up to a court matter, right? It is leading up to a court matter. How in God will again? Listen to this one. How in God will again? You're going to charge us $1.50 per head for every passenger in our bus. I mean, it is unfair. We're paying business license. We're paying for our decal. We're paying for our taxi license. How much more do you want us to pay for? We just went through COVID here, and tourism have not looked upon no taxi operator. People bus have been taken away from them. We have been struggling. People think taximen are make hell in the devil out there. And now this Minister of Tourism wants to come pressure us that we cannot even leave Port Zanzibar job unless we have a paper from them. I don't do it take passengers out of our bus. They're done already collecting $10 a head from the ship.
Is it 10?
We ain't tours operator. We is not tours operator. They're going to look to the tours operator for that tour go with 99.9% of the job, and we ain't getting anything. We need to get together. I'm calling for all taxi operators. Let us all meet maybe next week, Thursday at Port Zante, and let us get together and let us get a good lawyer to represent us. Because this coming season is going to be a serious upcoming season. They are putting things in place. We need to get in place. I'm calling for all the presidents, them. I'm calling for everybody. Let's get together. Because it's not easy for us. I mean, this is craziness. The minister is crazy. I mean, she don't tell us, she ain't come to us as a minister, She come to us with a lawyer cap on, but I hope she have on she lawyer cap all the time. Because, look out, Sue is coming. People going to sue tourism. And I'm asking also the commissioner of police to look into this matter. Because when they're going to use the police them to take passengers out of people bus, they also could be sued. Because that is our job, that is our livelihood. How come they don't take passengers out of the train bus? Contours, all the other people in bus. But we normal taximan, because we ain't got a ticket from behind here, we will be stopped and take out the passengers them. But who tell them they could come touch me bus to take out my passengers? So I'm asking the commissioner, when they come to him with this foolishness, look into this matter, look into it seriously. Because we are licensed, we are playing a business license, not only a business license, we cannot even operate unless we have the decal on our bus, so we have to pay for the decal also. We have to pay for our ID from tourism also. So, I mean, where's the one from us?
Well, I am one who was in the meeting that was held earlier last week, the one that you're referring to. The other two presidents and I, we are also looking at what was put on the table. The minister also said that the consultation is not complete. So we're looking forward to sitting with her and her team again. So whereas I understand what you're saying, I'm just playing devil's advocate. We haven't signed on or signed off on these things. As far as I know, we're still in the consultative process. But I understand what you're saying. What was said was intended. And I can understand to some extent the rationale behind what they're looking to do to implement. How practical it is a different story. And it's to some extent sad that more persons weren't there to hear firsthand for themselves and give their input. What we hear in that two meetings was announced, and people were planning to go on the Wednesday. It was the Tuesday and the Wednesday. They did not get the updated information somehow, because I am one who put it in the chat, and it was circulated in the various chats for they to be informed that there would be only one meeting to be held on the Tuesday morning at 10. And I'm struggling to see if we had 60 persons there. If we have over 300 drivers active, we only had about 60 persons there represented. That saddened me. You know?
But again,
So,
even in these meetings, sometimes the behavior of the minister who do not even want you to speak, she always wants to shut you down. She needs to learn to listen also. Listen to our cry. We have not get anything from COVID.
I mean, really, in terms of relief assistance? When you say anything from COVID, are you talking about a relief assistance?
No, they was talking about we get grant. No taxi operator get any grant from COVID. They do it into a loan. It's a loan they do it as.
Okay.
None of us get no grant. All these things they put on the ear. We need to get together. I'm calling for all taxi operator. Let us all get together. Even meet next week Thursday. Invite the media, them that they come down and hear our cry. And only that I'm asking, I'm pleading to the taxi operator to come and hear our cry. Let the media come to hear our cry. Please, please.
Okay,
Operator, let us get together.
Okay, Mr. David.
Let us get together. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Mr. David, thank you so very much for your contribution. And I know your call would have really galvanized some persons into thinking that this has to be addressed. Right? So thanks for your contribution. Right? Appreciate that. I'm actually waiting the appearance of one of the other presidents to speak to of the item that was, well, I would say aired during that discussion that they married on Tuesday, where the whole issue of the Uber, how it operates and what license they were given was addressed. And we were more or less given a guarantee that that will be addressed with the appropriate authority because they are operating illegally. We go back to the phone lines. Caller, your live on Voices.
Hey, good morning, Socrates. How are you doing?
Sister Henry, good morning. I'm okay. Yourself?
You're giving God thanks, man. God has been good to me.
Beautiful. We start there.
I just encourage all of us to keep praying for this country, yeah?
Definitely.
Because, I mean, when will the killing stop? My good family trying to make excuses, Right now, this week, there are 6 communities on the state of emergency in Jamaica. You know the state of emergency?
No, I didn't know about it.
Whether the lockdown communities?
I know how it is, but I said I didn't know about that happening now
Yes, 6
in Jamaica.
6.
6 communities on the state of emergency in
Town,
Jamaica.
which is below UE. Different places. I mean, I suppose you love Jamaica so much.
I've been there a few times. I really enjoyed it there.
I loved it, and I love the people, tell you the truth. If I had my way, I would have stayed, but I was going to live in a ghetto tenement area. And the white people live there. So we are the ones doing this thing to ourselves. The senseless killing, senseless. And there's no excuse for it. They're terrorizing. So you find that most of the security down in St. Anne, what they call North Coast and so. New Kingston has a lot of security too, That's where you have the hotels. But the tenements and the ghettos are left to themselves. People from both sides of the other side of the street killing up each other. I mean, really, there's no excuse. We can't say, well, the English and the American and the people, ordinary people killing each other, terrorizing the children. So I don't know, maybe he was in the country, man.
I mean, Eli?
Something else. Anyway, let me continue.
Go right ahead.
Now, the idea that I wanted to hear from you what was really said at the meeting, because I heard, but it said somebody coming in.
No, well, he may not, so I can share with you what...
I had a caller this week saying about what his response on the one just a while ago. But I am calling upon Special Advisor Austin Edinburgh, who was himself a taximan, to intervene and intercede and let us know what are his thoughts, because he was the most
vocal
local and oppositional. So I want to know.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah, but you know him. You're not going to do this. They can't make him do that. You know what I mean? Nobody could have controlled him, you know. So I want you to know that he's a special advisor to the Prime Minister. Has he been able to advise the Prime Minister as to what is going on? Because at the end of the day, even though it is the Ministry of Tourism, I told you about the advisor?
Yes.
Back again.
Of course.
Back again, if you listen to the things implemented.
He just received a doctorate. I forget which body, so he's now Dr. Skerritt.
How much games West Indies went under him?
No, at least he got some accolades, so I'm not going to how much he lost or whatever. I'm just dealing with his achievements.
I told you, see what's going on? Marsha is new. Good morning, Marsha. Marsha from my church. You might me got to put you on the prayer list. No, but serious. Those are not Marsha's ideas. I don't say she don't have them, you know. But each minister is given an advisor who would have had some experience. Isn't that so?
That's correct.
So so when these things are uttered, I mean, I expect better of Marsha. I know she came from an area where and our church was right in the middle of everything, Sarpan Alley, where poor people and black people struggling, you know? So if the plans that they're going to implement is going to increase the hardship of the taxi men, then it should be looked at again. And in many cases, there have to be changes. If the changes make sense or if they are convenient or needed, then there will have to be some give and take with the taxi men and the ministry. Don't you think so?
That is correct.
So we would like to know what transpired. You said you all having another meeting.
Well, I was in all the meetings, so I can give you an update on everything. We do for station breaks. So when I come back, I'll speak to that. So I'll ask them to hold the phone lines. I'll explain as best I can. Okay? Thank you.
Flow Road to Home is life made simple. One affordable plan that gives you internet at home and mobile on the go. Constant connection anywhere and everywhere, wherever your plans may take you. Switch today and get double the data on your mobile with 60 gigs, plus unlimited WhatsApp and YouTube and 400 megabits per second internet speed. Flow Road to Home internet and mobile plan. Your non-stop connection. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for more info. Conditions apply.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Buster! We run things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste, Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Good morning once again and welcome to Voices. The last caller asked me to share some information about the meetings we've had with the Tourism Authority, the minister, and in my capacity as a president, or one of the three presidents, we were invited to what was deemed a consultative process. It was explained to us that they're trying to implement or introduce some new policies for the upcoming season, and rather than things just be foisted upon us, we should be part of the consultation process, and I thank them for that, because formally we wasn't given that opportunity. Our input was solicited. We made a number of recommendations, which was seemed to be shared across the table. We were also asked not to share the information because what we were discussing was in the draft format. We were drafting, and it was incomplete. It would not be wise to go out and share with the public, and then you have changes later on, and it become confusing. So we honored that. We went to a second meeting. We discussed in further detail what we were looking at, and this was to precede the meeting of last Tuesday, where the general body from the taxi fraternity would be told what was discussed in the first two meetings, what the plans were, and solicit their input before signing off on the policy. As I indicated earlier, not a lot of folks turned up. It may have been miscommunication because first they announced two meetings, one for Tuesday at 10 a.m., the other for Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Later on, the information changed. There would only be one meeting that would be on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. I know I, for one, sent out the updated information. The other presidents would have done the same, but there are persons who did not get the memo, so to speak, and so we had a poor showing at the Marriott last Tuesday. When compared to the, say, roughly 300 drivers, we had roughly 60, 70 the most. And so some of the policies were laid out. One that has caused some angst was the control of the traffic on the port. What they're saying that when you arrive in the morning, you'll be given a ticket. Upon inspection of your vehicle, you'll be issued a ticket. And upon leaving the port with the job, you must present that ticket. It may be punched or whatever the method, but that determines that you would have been given a job from the dispatching point. The challenge with that, I would say about 80% of those operate at Port Zante do not go to the dispatching point to get the job. They solicit the work in the open area. And so that creates a challenge. How do you present your ticket to the security, whomever, tourism authority, when you're leaving the port, when you didn't get your job through or at the dispatching point? And it was said that it can be embarrassing if you show up at that point to exit and you don't have that ticket. The passengers will be removed from the vehicle. One of the persons who operates in that space, he asked a question: what if I'm there and some people walk up to me, some tourists walk up to me, and ask me to tour them? What do I do? And the answer was, well, you should not be in that space. You should be like in the dispatching area where the job should be dispatched to you. So that is the issue that's causing a lot of problem. I understand what they're trying to do. Now, the other thing about the $1.50 per head, that was discussed some years ago. And what they're saying that I think it was the tour companies that was asked to pay it. I'm not sure. But they're saying it creates an unfair situation where some are asked to pay and some not. So they will look to implement a certain form of taxation. They will come to a figure. They've not decided. We have folks there from Inland Revenue and Finance Department. And they were listening because they want to get the feedback from the majority of persons who should have been there. So what they're suggesting is that maybe at the start of the season, or maybe once, twice, 3 times per year, whatever the schedule, that we pay a certain amount of tax based on what. So the ticket issue, the ticketing or the ticket that you will have to present when you leave the port, is one way of determining how much money you make, and you could be taxed according. Now, they may seem unpopular, and that's the reaction. It may be too much too soon. But these were the things discussed. And some folks who were there challenged it. Some folks who weren't there would have heard it secondhand and even attacked me. I went and signed on to this, and that's not the case. But it was said that the draft is not finished. They're still consulting, and at the end of it, we will have an input again. In a nutshell, that is what happened. Okay? There was a caller on the line. They're still there? Okay. My friend is up with me at the moment. So, Sister Henry and the others listening, that was the case. Now, it's a very serious issue, but there are ongoing conversations, as the minister said. They met with all the other various stakeholders, UDC, CASPA, finance, etc., etc., etc. So, sometimes when you're accustomed to the beaten track, and then overnight things change, it creates a certain amount of angst. But through continued consultation, I'm a believer in the process. I'm a believer in the process, and I think that we will come to some consensus. The timing may be wrong, but we have a few months to really deal with it before the season really kicks in. So Mr. Davis is expressing how he feels about it. Other persons, I would have heard them express how they want to deal with it. I'm not asking them to wait on us. We may not have all the answers, but I am expecting to hear from the Tourism Authority of a date for next meeting where we can go and further discuss, because it cannot be, that could not be the last meeting, and nothing, as far as I know, is signed on to as yet. Right? So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Another point that was raised was the Uber, the issue of the Uber. I don't know what they are. That operation. It was stated that the insurance does not cover any passenger who's injured. They should not. They don't have the classification for public transport. All public transport vehicles have a certain classification. We pay our requisite taxes. We have the proper licensing. These other vehicles do not have that. So by whatever fluke, they were able to get operational before. And the persons just use the vehicles willy-nilly and say they're Uber. We were given the assurance from the Tourism Authority that that will be addressed, even to the point where the Attorney General will have to deal with it. We've asked before, over the years, why, how? Somebody called me and told me, well, it's a good thing because this and that and that. No, you're undercutting. You're undercutting the taxi drivers' trade. And people say, well, you're innovation because there was this and that. No. At a time when we needed the assistance more, people came and just undercut and were given a license to operate in a manner where it was illegal. A T, a GT, a H have a special designation and license to deal with public transport. They don't. So for those who are listening, I feel you're getting a good deal. If there's an accident and you're injured, you have zero coverage. Anybody want to call and talk about that? You have zero coverage because that vehicle and that driver is not licensed to engage in public transportation. Okay? Let's see what this president is saying. I am getting a call. So yeah, those are some of the issues out there today. I understand Mr. Davis, the previous caller, and his concerns. Mr. Matthews trying to call in. I don't know if the lines are open at the moment. He's one of the presidents. Let's see if he's there. Mr. Matthew, are you there? Is your call on the line?
Yes.
Okay, you're in.
Good morning.
I'd rather have you here in person, but this is the next big thing. Talk to me.
Yes. Let me address a little bit of the Uber first.
Okay. First off, did you hear what I just said?
Yes. Maybe not your last comment, but I heard most of what you said.
Okay.
Normally, when I call, I turn off the radio, so.
Okay.
you know. I was saying the Uber. This situation was put before the previous Minister of Tourism, and he stated that it was put before the Attorney General. It's a simple matter that Uber is operating illegally, both for insurance and otherwise, in the country. And while some of us are trying to fight, put pressure upon people who are operating legally, those that are operating illegally, they're not hearing about any pressure being put on them, any announcement about what they're doing and it's wrong, it's against the law, no fight down it, nothing. And that is the concern of many drivers. And the fact that it is illegal and nobody is doing nothing about it officially, no matter how much we complain, because we've been complaining for years now. And nothing has been done about it. But the people can find time to try to implement all kind of other regulation. Concerning the meeting over the Marriott, it is still a proposal, and that is why you still have to be careful as to whereabout you go addressing the situation. Because somebody could say to you, it's only a proposal. But from my experience, when people propose things, is what they want actually to implement. Okay? They might make
I'm with you.
Changes.
I'm with you.
And I know the other day Mr. Davis would have called in and a little passionate about the situation. But it's always best to negotiate first. It's not you don't win these fights on the street. You have to negotiate. You have to sit down. You have to write letters. You have to get together. You have to meet with both all present have to meet. You have to meet with all the taxi drivers that are interested and about dealing with it. Sometimes when people come up with an idea, they feel like that idea should be the only idea. And while we at Port Dante, the guys on the outside, what we call the circle, they make a solid contribution to the economy financially. Because we at the back, where we dispatch from, if the government system, we've seen, let's say, $20,000 a day on a busy day. Those guys outside will generate up to maybe $40,000, $50,000, $60,000
easily.
So it will be a financial impact. So what we will propose in the future is that we try and see how we could sort of bring it at a level, at a standard that is acceptable. Instead of removing the drivers from the area, we bring it to a standard that is acceptable for all. Yes, each time we have a new government, there are certain stakeholders that put pressure upon UDC, who try to bring pressure on the government to move the taxi drivers. This drive is not just about moving taxi drivers. It will satisfy other people. There's a lot I can talk about. There's a lot I can speak about what is going on. But we are not here to create any problem. We're here to sit down and dialogue with the necessary stakeholders, including the Ministry of Tourism and the SKTA, about a way forward. And a good example I wanted to use to talk to the public about, the UDC came up with a plan not to have taxi drivers park the taxi stand at Port Dante when there's no ship. And I find that was ridiculous. I don't know who came up with that idea. However, they retracted that and said we could operate, but from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I went and recorded and told them absolutely that is not right, incorrect. Because while you're controlling and telling taxi drivers that they cannot park in the taxi parking lot after 6 p.m., other people go all over Port Dante and park up until 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. There are businesses that are open until 8 or 9 and 10 and 12 So what's wrong with the taxi parking and the taxi parking lot when other people could park all over Port Dante? I am getting the impression that they are trying to target taxi drivers. The word target was used to a member, an executive member, and she said that is too strong for words. But you're not targeting the other people who come in Port Dante Park in different areas up until 11 o'clock.
I want to ask you about that word. What do you think would be the rationale in targeting taxi driver with parking issue?
I don't know if they want us to pay for parking during the day or overnight. I could support the overnight if they don't want a vehicle park overnight. I could sort of understand, but the overnight can start 7 o'clock in the night when business, you have the food court, you have a couple of restaurants open, we have Mapao. People go there and expect to get a taxi.
So what's your response to the remark that the CEO said that the area is not being used as a taxi stand but as a garage?
Yes, that is why I said I could support the overnight parking. But you can't, what my point is, that you cannot tell me from 10 p.m. start overnight parking when you have business establishments on Port Dante operating live businesses.
But we have to also admit, we have to also accept that there are many drivers with 2 and 3, even 4 vehicles who leave their vehicles there 24/7. And they did say it creates a security challenge.
That is why I said, I will support that. I will support the overnight parking. But is the time in which they want to implement the overnight parking, I have a problem with.
I say 6 to 7, you say 6 to 10? I recommend 6 to 7 because I figure you finish working 7 o'clock, you're going home.
That is too, no, but that is too early. There are businesses that open up until 11 o'clock at Port Dante. But then my point is, when you're saying that some taxi drivers should not park in the parking lot, they could go somewhere else and park. So what sense it makes to tell me I can't park in the parking lot, but I could go somewhere else and Port Dante and park?
You mean at the circle in front of the casino?
Yes. I mean, you telling me I can't park in the taxi parking lot, but I could go somewhere else and park. But that means you're targeting the drivers, taxi drivers. Do we tell people not to drive their vehicle because some people are not wearing seatbelts? You get a ticket if you're not wearing seatbelts. So you don't punish everybody for some people's behavior. If people want to park overnight, you give them a ticket for parking from maybe 12 o'clock to 6 in the a.m. or something. Don't punish everybody, and that is the problem. In the western parking drop-off point, they close it off. Some taxi drivers use it.
The lady gave a rationale for that, and I believe you could agree with that.
It's incorrect. You don't punish everybody, drivers, because other people go there and park. You find a way to give them a ticket, encourage them to park.
Okay, here's what.
Not to park.
We got a minute to the midday newscast. What do you want to tell the membership in the meantime?
In the meantime and between them, I want to let the memberships to have patience. It is an ongoing negotiation between the different stakeholders, Ministry of Tourism, and the Ministry, the authority,
Tourism Authority,
and the Association Tourism Authority, and it's an ongoing negotiation. Nothing has confirmed, nothing has settled yet. The $50 fee is a proposal. It is something that has been there in the books, but it cannot be applied randomly. So don't worry about it. That is something that is we're going to sit and negotiate properly, and we're going to deal with it. Because if you're going to Frigate with 4 people paying you $20, right? It won't apply. But so when you say so generally, everybody feel like each time you leave the port with people, it applies. That is not the situation. Okay? And yes, we do things, and we need a proper system.
Okay.
I can support some things, but anything vastly affecting negatively the taxi driver.
So you're asking the
will
owner
have to look
membership
at
to put a pause on the plans to demonstrate, blah, 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 blah. Is that correct?
There was no plan. There was no plan to demonstrate to start with. Let me put that on record. There was no plan. I'm not thinking about that. If an individual...
There was a recommendation in the chat, but we do have to pause now for the midday newscast. That was articulated in the chat.
No problem.
Right? But we're going to pause now for the WINNFM midday newscast, and perhaps after we can continue the discussion, okay? Thank you.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown. Our top stories: body of former Governor General Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seaton laid to rest. St. Kitts Consortium of Farmers report on recent meeting with Agriculture Permanent Secretary. St. Vincent Prime Minister calls for peace after deadly shooting leaves 5 dead in Kingstown. St. Lucia's Prime Minister urges individuals and businesses to pay the hundreds of millions of dollars of VAT owed to the government. Internationally, Amsterdam's council has banned cruise ships from the city centre as the Dutch capital tries to limit visitor numbers and curb pollution. Now the details. A state funeral for the former Governor General Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seton marked the culmination of a period of national mourning in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. The body of the former Governor General was laid to rest at the Springfield Cemetery following a farewell service with full military honors at the Zion Moravian Church in Bastyr on Thursday, July 20th, 2023. Greta Foreman, Seton's sister, presented the eulogy in which she candidly informed the audience that she wouldn't focus on her brother's academic and professional achievements, thus emphasizing that the information could be accessed online. Instead, Foreman shared beautiful and lasting memories of her brother.
I miss being able to access Tapley's fount of local historical knowledge. I miss his love of plants and flowers. And I miss our chats about his garden at Market Street, which someone once described as an oasis, which it is. He transformed the grounds and gardens at Government House during his tenure there. He was an ace gardener and had an eye for what looked good. I will miss his alerts to me about impending bad weather. I will miss his calls to me at night to make sure that I had got home safely after a night on the town. I miss talking to him about food. He was a pretty good cook and always thought that he was a better cook than I am. In his dreams, of course. Though I must admit that he beat me out on the Christmas ham. I miss those midnights and other times when I would message him or call him, and we would have a good old stoops about the latest score in West Indies cricket. It's wise that I say nothing more about that. There didn't seem to be any topic about which Tapley couldn't speak knowledgeably, except perhaps brain surgery.
Foreman acknowledged and expressed gratitude to the people and organizations that extended sympathy, greetings, and paid homage to her brother. She also read a few noteworthy greetings, including one from King Charles III.
I'd like to read a letter dated the 8th of July, sent to me from Buckingham Palace. And it says, "Dear Mrs. Foreman, I wanted to write and say how very sorry my wife and I are to hear of the recent death of your brother, Sir Tapley Seton, and to send you our deepest sympathy. I know that Sir Tapley's lifelong dedication to the people of St. Christopher and Nevis was truly remarkable, from becoming the youngest Attorney General in the Commonwealth at the age of just 29 to serving proudly as Governor General for over 7 years. His commitment to the education and development of young people, the strengthening of the judicial system, and the preservation of national heritage and the environment will, I am sure, be cherished for many years to come. I remember with great fondness the warm welcome my wife and I received from Sir Tapley as we began our most enjoyable visit to St. Christopher and Nevis in 2019. And however inadequate this letter may be, I did so want you and your family to know how much you are in our thoughts and prayers at such a very difficult time of loss. Yours most sincerely, Charles III."
Preceding the farewell service, a book of condolence was opened at government headquarters on Wednesday, July 19th. The book was opened again on Thursday morning, July 20th, as the body of Sir Tapley Seton was lying in state at Government House. The military procession paused outside Seton's home in Market Street to pay final respect before heading to the church. Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seton passed away on June 29, 2023. Flags were flown at half-staff at all government establishments effective Friday, July 30th, 2023, until the completion of the burial. Some of Seaton's noteworthy achievements include Crown Counsel for the Attorney General's Chambers under the Robert L. Bradshaw administration. In 1980, he became the first Attorney General of St. Kitts and Nevis, serving until 1995. He was appointed Queen's Counsel in 1988. On May 20th, 2015, Seaton became the acting Governor General of the Federation but was appointed as the fourth Governor General on September 1st, 2015. He served in that capacity until January 30th, 2023. The St. Kitts Consortium of Farmers met with and presented some initiatives to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, et al., Mr. Miguel Fleming, recently. The consortium continues pushing for more investment in the agriculture and fisheries sectors, and their recent attempts included presenting a financial security initiative to help farmers secure funding from banking institutions to develop their businesses, duty-free concessions for parts for farming equipment and fuel, and more.
We propose that some sum of money be set aside, not for farmers and agribusiness persons to access directly, but set aside as some form of collateral or security to help the bank to gain a bit of confidence that when farmers and agro-processors approach the enterprise, that they can get loans of low interest and that those loans can be revolving or be peer-approved and so on. So we presented that idea and we asked for his support and the support of the ministry in advancing this kind of dialogue with us, coordinating, in some cases, facilitating the conversation with the bank in order to add the government's take on it and make sure that we are on a strong footing. That is something that he would have indicated that we would come back and discuss it a bit further, in more detail and more pointedly, and that is something that we all could agree with.
Meshach Alford during the July 19th broadcast of Farm Report on Island Tea.
This is a kind of diversion from what has happened in the past in sense of just putting out stimulus packages of 10 million or 30 million and so on, and then you just go and access, and then you don't know, you can't see effect of that kind of stimulus in the farming community or in St. Kitts and a whole term of infrastructure and all these things. So we're saying is you have a fund that is there that can be put in a trust or something of that mechanism with a memorandum of understanding between all the different partners, and you flesh out that as we go.
The representative from the consortium reported that there had been some traction on setting up a gas station in the Tabernacle area to give farmers easier access to fuel in that part of the country. Alford also shared the consortium's request for a policy and advisory board for agriculture, which he said would be a first and a vital push towards allowing the people directly involved in agriculture to have a voice in implementing policies, regulations, and initiatives concerning agriculture and fisheries.
What we were proposing in the first instance, at least, there should be somebody for livestock, somebody for crops. Right. As a farming community, you should also have some technical person in the field of agriculture, right? Some expert of some kind, somebody perhaps in finance and economics. And fishing, we only had an agreement in principle in our meeting prior. We would have had to go and basically sit down and work out what would it really look like so that it can be presented maybe as a cabinet submission or something. That conversation at least was going well. We have already said that the process is not going to happen overnight. So if it take a year from now, it take 2-3 years from now, at least let us act in good faith as it relates to this. Now, no one person or entity has all the answers to provide on this. While I might be proposing certain things, I don't know the conscience on your end. At least I don't know them intimately. It's only in the meeting of minds can we really resolve some of these issues, and that's what we've been calling for. Let us meet.
Alford said the current state of the agriculture and fisheries sectors are long past the need for consultation, as he feels much is not materialized from consultations.
Oftentimes in the media, you hear that we are consulting with the public, consulting with members of the farming community and so on to get their feedback and their comments. We are long past consultation. Consultation doesn't material anything much for this community. You're looking for participation, involvement in this process. That is why we are saying it's absolutely critical and necessary that farmers be part of the decision-making process, at least to have representation in that mechanism. And we want to be part of the design for that as well.
One of the farmers representing the consortium during the farm report shared his opinion on how the government has been approaching problems of the farming community.
Agriculture in the past has always been one where
If you go to a farmer's meeting, the question is always asked, what are your problems? If the monkey is the problem and I give you a pack of seed, all you do, you're going to plant more food for the monkey to eat. So there was no real solution to the issue. It was just, sweeping the issues under the mat and hoping that, you would forget it. It's almost like I'm buying you to just be quiet. And so we could adapt that whole concept, but what we are saying as a consortium, we want to move away from that. We are trying to create that partnership where we can create a platform, that foundation to catapult agriculture into the future so that the generations to come is not going to have this conversation.
He went on to explain the need for the culture shift in agriculture not just to be a phrase used in speeches, but should be actively enacted for the sake of future generations.
The generations to come is supposed to be about incorporating technology into agriculture, having drones, discussing how we could incorporate drones to fly over your crop, identify the areas in the field where you have weakness in nitrogen deficiency, potassium deficiency, treat your plants using that, not coming back to here. So our goal is really to create that partnership where we can build out the infrastructure where agriculture can be a viable business. So we would have generations coming who would be inspired, have that aspiration to become a farmer.
Minister of Agriculture et al., the Honorable Samuel Duggins, in a previous Prime Minister's press conference, stated that a strategic plan to illustrate the government's path towards bolstering agriculture and fisheries in the Federation would be rolled out in July. However, that plan has not been shared with the public as yet. As countries in the region continue to strive for sustainable status, nutrition security is one of the pillars determining a country's sustainability, its ability to nourish its people. Without proper investment in agriculture, agro-processing, and fisheries, achieving the status of a sustainable island state may not be possible. In regional news, St. Vincent Prime Minister calls for peace after deadly shooting leaves 5 dead in Kingstown. St. Lucia's Prime Minister urges individuals and businesses to pay the hundreds of millions of dollars of VAT owed to the government. HTS St. Lucia has those reports.
We will get to the bottom of this and we will bring the perpetrators to justice.
The serenity of St. Vincent and the Grenadines was shattered on Wednesday evening following a shooting in Kingstown that left 5 men dead. Vincentian Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says justice must be served.
So we were putting additional measures in place when this shooting came about. The first thing I want to do, of course, is to indicate to our people that we must be calm. We must not panic. We have to be resolute in fighting the criminals. There are ramped up measures which are being taken as I speak to you, and for tactical and operational reasons I can't say what all those measures are, but I want to appeal to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, people in the communities, to assist the police with any information you may have.
According to Gonsalves, the Royal St. Vincent Police Force, Border Control, and Immigration are on high alert.
We have certain leads, I've been advised by the police, and over the next few days we would be able to get a better handle as to who and what are responsible for these killings. I want you to know that the government is resolved to get to the bottom of this and to continue to put the safety of our people at the top of our agenda.
The sound of a semi-automatic high-powered rifle broke the silence in a sleepy St. Vincent on Wednesday night. Gonsalves describes the event as a terrible tragedy.
This fascination with guns, and the guns coming from the United States of America and the ease with which they come in. And then it is mixed with drugs and other matters of vanity and all kinds of quest for power through the gun. All of these things are an intoxicating mix. We have to look to see whether there are external involvements of one kind or another. But we'll talk more about those things. We try to get to the bottom of it and be calm. Don't panic. And we are all together in this. We have our values for peace and security. These acts of senseless killing. The young males who are involved in these matters must know that it can only end for grief for them.
Dr. Gonzalez reiterated his call for peace and calm as the law agents work towards bringing resolve to the matter. He urges Vincentians to unite to combat lawlessness and criminal violence.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, in a bid to persuade businesses to cough up monies owed to the government on value-added taxes, stated that it will improve the balance sheets of establishments. According to Pierre, businesses owe some $599 million worth of taxes and other funds collected on behalf of the government, including interest and penalties. The Prime Minister, during a resolution to support the tax amnesty on Wednesday, said that almost $300 million of these penalties have been waived.
They have to reverse it, debit the payables, Mr. Speaker, and credit the tax owed. So that means it reduces the tax that they owe to the government and improves their balance sheet, improves it significantly. So they can go to the bank and say to the bank, I do not owe these amount of taxes, Mr. Speaker. So that is a tremendous help to the private sector. And no one can say that this government is not trying to assist the private sector, Mr. Speaker, not trying to assist them after COVID. But these taxes were not due for COVID. These taxes were due long before COVID. We've waived all of them. So this is the government's commitment to the growth and the expansion of the private sector, Mr. Speaker.
The government also extended its exemption on the interest and fines to personal income tax in an attempt to bring some relief to citizens. Pierre called on both businesses and individuals to settle their debts.
So this amnesty is unheard of in the history of St. Lucia's private sector, Mr. Speaker. All I'm asking is meet the government halfway. We've done our part. All I'm asking for the private sector and for the people who owe taxes, please come to pay the government, Mr. Speaker, because when you pay the government, many things will happen in a different way. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, we are committed. We are committed. If what we are owed, we paid, when we have to pay a refund, we will refund.
The Prime Minister also encouraged individuals to ensure that the correct amount is being deducted from their incomes.
And I also want to tell taxpayers to please go to change your tax code. Change your tax code so that the government cannot take undue taxes from you, Mr. Speaker. So you change your tax code. Now it's very simple. There's no charge. Go to Inland Revenue and change your tax code so that the tax you pay every month, it will not accumulate in terms of you pay the government too much, Mr. Speaker.
Businesses and individuals must settle their outstanding tax payments no later than May 1st, 2024 to benefit from the waiver of penalties and interest and overdue payments to the government. Gina Filippi, HTS News Force.
We now bring you these international reports.
Amsterdam in the Netherlands has banned cruise ships from the city centre. It's part of Amsterdam's latest efforts to limit visitor numbers and curb pollution. The City Council said the ships weren't in line with its sustainable ambitions. Let's get more on this from Courtney Bembridge, who joins us from the newsroom. Courtney.
Well, Celia, when many people think of Amsterdam, they might imagine scenes like this, but all too often it actually looks a bit more like this. And the City Council is trying to crack down on mass tourism in a number of ways, cruise ships being the latest of those measures. So the city now deciding to ban cruise ships in the city centre. And to give you an idea of the scale, it used to receive around 100 cruise ships each year. That averages out to about 2 a week. And this is where they used to dock, right in the centre of Amsterdam, and the council says no longer does it want this to happen, that they don't align with the city's values. Now, Amsterdam has become a bit of a victim of its own success. Each year there are around 20 million visitors. So this is a problem for such a small place, and they are trying to clean up the city, banning the smoking of cannabis in the red light district. And also in March this year, there was an ad campaign released targeted towards young British men. Let's have a look at that warning. You can see warning people, anyone coming to Amsterdam for a messy night, to stay away. So there are a number of measures aimed at cleaning up the city's reputation and also making sure that the right type of tourism is attracted. And there's been one Dutch politician who described tourists as a plague of locusts descending on the city. Now, not everyone is using such strong language, but there is a concern that these types of tourists, so either coming to the city for a messy night or cruise ship tourists, come in for a short period of time, don't actually spend much time doing the cultural activities in the city. They have no time to do a museum. They eat at chain restaurants and then they leave again. So that's one side of things. The other part of this is the environmental factors, and Amsterdam City Council is also talking about the impact that cruise ships have in terms of air pollution. So they've used a study from 2021 talking about one cruise ship having the same levels of nitrous oxide as 30,000 trucks. So two factors here. One is the enjoyment of the city and the other is the environmental impact of this kind of tourism.
Political, military, and business leaders got an update by video link from Kyiv on the progress of Ukraine's counteroffensive, which has been grinding slowly but steadily along for weeks.
Counteroffensive, it's going not sample, once again, because it's war. And it's very difficult to be sure and to guarantee that it will be this, particularly by this speed. But in general, it's going by plan.
Yermak was also asked about Russia's efforts to cut off grain exports from Ukraine by bombarding its ports and threatening ships that dock there.
It's about we need more air defense. You can see what happened last days in Odessa and Nikolaev. You know, I'm sure about what happened with the grain corridors, and this is the problem not just about of Ukraine, it's a problem of the world, of the many countries. And of course, we need F-16s.
Earlier, senior U.S. and European officials tried to put a positive spin on developments. The UK's foreign minister suggested that last month's aborted Wagner insurrection by Yevgeny Prigozhin shows cracks are appearing in the edifice of Vladimir Putin's regime.
It doesn't matter how Putin tries to spin it. An attempted coup is never a good look.
Morale among Russian forces is at rock bottom based on intercepted phone conversations and other data gathered by the investigative journalism group Bellingcat.
We see rank-and-file soldiers complaining about lack of munition, lack of food, lack of care from their commanders. We see middle-range commanders complaining, and we see generals actually that walk out, like last week, saying this is a disgrace. We can't face our soldiers with that lack of care that we can't afford to our soldiers. So morale across the board is very low.
International forums like this one here in Aspen are useful for building consensus around critical global issues. So far, support for Ukraine remains firm. But Ukraine's continued success on the battlefield will likely be critical in maintaining that consensus. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Aspen, Colorado.
Rolling back the years, Henry Kissinger is once again in the Chinese capital, once again talking to a Chinese leader.
It is a great privilege
to be able to visit China, and it is extraordinarily courteous of you to arrange the meeting.
You've just celebrated your 100th birthday, and I wish you a long and healthy life.
It was the most effusive welcome in China for a U.S. figure in recent years, Kissinger being described as an old friend and significantly meeting with the defense minister who's sanctioned by the U.S. and who recently refused to meet his U.S. counterpart, Lloyd Austin.
Secretary Austin has been very clear since the beginning of the administration that the department is interested in open lines of communication with the PRC. Unfortunately, by and large, they have not responded to those requests.
52 years ago, Richard Nixon was the president who walked the halls of the West Wing. He instructed Henry Kissinger to set up a series of secret meetings with Chinese leaders. These paved the way for Nixon's historic visit to China in 1972. Kissinger's visit comes amid a historic low point in relations between Washington and Beijing over issues such as Taiwan, technology, trade, and China's human rights record. It was a visit that changed the course of history, encouraging a parting in the Sino-Russian relationship and heralding the fall of the Soviet Union nearly 2 decades later.
Our strategy was to position ourselves in such a way that we were closer to Soviet Union and China than they were to each other, so that in every crisis we had more options than they did.
This time round, perhaps it's China sending a message to the United States.
The emphasis that the Chinese side is placing on the Kissinger visit is to say, this is a choice. This is a choice on your side. You're creating the negative conditions. There are Americans that are not just working in business, but in the strategic community that we can have good relations with.
The somewhat guarded response from the White House and the State Department. Henry Kissinger is a private citizen, no longer speaking for the United States as he did over half a century ago. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines: body of former Governor General Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Seton laid to rest. St. Kitts Consortium of Farmers report on recent meeting with Agriculture Permanent Secretary. St. Vincent Prime Minister calls for peace after deadly shooting leaves 5 dead in Kingstown. St. Lucia's Prime Minister urges individuals and businesses to pay the hundreds of millions of dollars of VAT owed to the government. Internationally, Amsterdam's council has banned cruise ships from the city centre as the Dutch capital tries to limit visitor numbers and curb pollution. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back coupons to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman's Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
At 12:37, Friday, July 21st, we're back into the second half of Voices. My name is Socrates, host of the program, and I'm saying, Chris Collins, how you doing? He just joined in. I'm going to have a rather interesting topic this morning, and we have had feedback from quite a few of our usual callers. We've had a hi, hello from Mr. Valentine Monitor up there in Toronto. Hoping that all is well. Let me go into a different topic, speaking about Toronto. But we're going to start with Caribbean nationals will require a visit to travel to the UK starting from Dominica. Let me go back to the full article. It reads, the United Kingdom government is poised to suspend the visa-free travel waiver agreement with Dominica this July to the 21st. Okay. Thereby requiring its nationals to apply for a visa for travel to the UK. Following this, the UK plans to annul the visa-free agreement with St. Lucia in August and subsequently with Grenada in September. In a similar vein, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, and St. Kitts and Nevis will face the same action in October, November, and December, respectively. The step has come into effect as the first step of the launch of our Electric Travel Authorization, ETA, and it is expected that in December 2023, the UK government would announce these countries under the ETA. As per the report, the visa waiver agreement with Caribbean nations offering citizenship by investment program, CBI, will be subsequently suspended in phases. As per the report, the visa-free waiver agreement with Caribbean nations offering citizenship by investment program, the CBI, will be subsequently suspended in phases. The visa-free travel agreement with other OECS and additional Caribbean nations are likely to be suspended in the coming months. Quite a view to taken. Associate Times, a Miami-based news website, asserted that the UK also plans to add these Caribbean countries into the ETA system by the end of 2023. So travel restrictions from the UK, you would need a visa to travel to the UK, and they're going to start with the country of Dominica this July, this month, thereby requiring its nationals to apply for a visa to travel to the UK. Following this, the UK plans to annul the visa-free agreement with St. Lucia in August, and subsequently with Grenada in September. In a similar vein, Antigua and Barbuda, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis will face the same action in October, November, and December, respectively. So there's another hot topic on the table, Caribbean nationals. And they mentioned the countries that engage with in the CBI program, they too will be phased out subsequently. Interesting. So we have the taxi issue that, the issues, reaction from some taxi drivers to the meeting held by the Tourism Authority at the Marriott last Tuesday. We touched on the whole issue of the U.S. government, more or less being heavy-handed with Jamaicans, asking them to allow a same-sex marriage couple to be in Jamaica. The one is a diplomat. They want his spouse to, and they said no. Jamaica said no. And the U.S. about to rescind their visa at the other end. Let's see what this caller have to add to the program. Good to call you live on Voices. That's ouch. We have another caller. You're live on Voices. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am good, man.
Beautiful.
Now, according to what the taxi guy was speaking about, the amount of restrictions that you all have just to earn a bread, I think that is too much of a dictatorship from you all. That is the way I look at it. Because you're going to tell me, you take your own money, you buy a transportation, you could call it your hoe, that give you a bread daily. And you follow all the rules and regulations, you apply for your taxi license, you get it, and then you meet the requirements that a taxi operator should know and have. And then you're going to tell me they're coming still and want to impose on you all and tell you can't do this and you can't do that. If you get a trip, if somebody come walk up to you and say, well, they would like to have a tour trip or whatever it is, they're going to tell you that you can't do this and can't do that, and then they're going to charge inside each head what they want to tell you to charge them. No, that is not good enough. And I agree with the caller that every taxi operator should be concerned and speak up and speak out. Because you know what? When there is a national problem and there's only one or two persons speaking out against it, those who cause the problem, you know what they say? But man, them there's more than the minority, man. We ain't studying them. But when they hear the whole fleet of taxi operators speaking out, they're going to jump quick, like yesterday, and fix the solution. Now you hear the amount of rules and regulation now coming down on these Caribbean islands because of what is it, the CBI profit and whatnot.
That's part of it, yeah.
Now, why should them big chess countries want to interfere with these small market chess countries' income, our economy? Why? And they got the load of gun, making up and sending all over the world. Look at what happened in St. Vincent. 5 get shot down, killed one time. And you mean to tell me all heads of Caribbean countries who said they joined the OECS and carry common all of this, when they go to these meetings, they sit down there with a hand in their lap and smiling, and they just put the signature to whatsoever them big countries decide they want. All of them supposed to stand up and tell them, listen, all of us, we not agree with these guns coming to our Caribbean countries. We don't make guns. And we're not signing nothing to what you want us to sign to until you agree that you're going to do something to hold those people who are making them gun in your country and sending them out here. So them Caribbean leaders, they go up there. They go up there just to smile and just to say they went to this conference. And what they bring back? No result that the nation could be satisfied with to say, okay, then we're going to get a relief with these guns coming in here. They're doing nothing. We're just traveling. And the minister of tourism, she better get, whoever the person is, they better get the act together. Because there are one extra special advisor. One special advisor to the Prime Minister. He has a taxi. and where he get time to go on the pier when the cruise ship dock up. He's supposed to be there by the Prime Minister because he's a special advisor to the Prime Minister.
Yeah, but
he out there competing with people who don't even have a job. You were going to say something?
Douglas said he could run the country from his black baby.
You're right.
So he could be at the port playing his trade and use his phone to do his other job.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
And then you remember he had a load of chat, before the election that nobody could tell him do this and they can't make him do that. And now look at him. So what the man who is supposed to be
representing
advisor to telling him? He can do anything wrong because he's not supposed to be out there in a taxi getting $10,000 a month.
They says 8. They says 8. I don't know, but it's still a hefty fund.
Well, you see, until when somebody guilty of doing wrong and you lash them with the hammer, they got a lot of excuses, and they minimizes their excuse. He ain't supposed to be out there in a taxi. He's supposed to be there around the Prime Minister to tell the Prime Minister, look, you got a landslide on this mountain and we got to go do something or whatever it is. No.
I see.
But you see, brother, Lord, my God, you for me. Think it's people them they only good to talk through alley. Public, national problem, they only good to go through alley, go mumble with a friend and hush. When they're supposed to come on this platform here where you are and speak out, no, they lip them stick. Anyway, thank you for the king.
Sir.
Before I go, I already put in some lyrics together. I don't got 4 verses. So I'll bring them next week to you.
What's the topic?
Well, the topic is about worthless people and, oh my God.
How do you spell that? Worthless or worthless?
Eh?
How do you spell that?
Worthless is when you have to speak in certain places, but then the colloquial way on the street is worthless. Because politics and what he named then Chokai. They tell me that they want a contest with you and me, and you're gonna be the judge, and we are gonna sing a calypso. Cause they said they could beat me, so I'm waiting for them.
Well, you're accustomed to win races all the world, so you're a winner. We'll see.
Yeah, well, they might beat me, but because I'm going back from Libya, money in a brown paper bag, and sugar workers were robbed of the rightfully owned money.
Oh.
And Bragadam, and Gatwick, and passport down in Dominica.
That's a history lesson.
Okay. Anyway, let me move. Let somebody else get a chance to come in.
Always good to hear from you, sir.
Okay, I'll continue to listen. Thank you.
Riley, and
Okay.
so with the band plays on, we have this call. Go to the caller, you're live on Voices. We missed that caller by an inch. You know, so another beautiful Friday in the Federation of St. Christopher Nevis. Some people are saying, thank God it's Friday. We need to get together and do a rain dance. Caller there? Go to the caller, you're live on Voices.
Yeah, brother.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Yeah, Socrates. This is Michael Bitchwater.
Mr. Big Banana, a.k.a. Socrates.
Yeah, I would like to find some time to come in the radio station one of these days with you to talk about the issue of down on Fort Yankee.
Yes, sir.
I find that I just tune in, because someone told me that they're already calling and they had whatever they had to say. But I said I was going to call in. So I went pull over and got my time, because the nation needs to listen to people when they're having issue like this, where the ministers that we elected into office, and they continue to ramp and rage and think that we is nobody. And we ain't gonna value. We're driving bus that costs over $100,000, and yes, we're not together based on one association because of whatever reason, but they still need to respect the fact that how people make their money. I'll start off with the meeting that they had over Marriott lately. The Minister of Tourism continues to take people lightly. Remember, she's a servant of the people. I wanted to get that, and I want the general public to know that they are our servants. We didn't put them there to put us in a box and to give us the little thing on a plate like that's how it's going to be. I see a situation happen where they come, they're talking about his proposed stuff they're going to do, and then it turned out that Trini, the guy with the bluebeards, starts speaking like, oh, you should take all the taxi drivers to the back where they have the taxi stand. And Trini could speak wherever he wants. And I don't think you ought to sit down in any forum with Trini, because Trini making a decision for you all and other taxi drivers. He cannot make no decision for us. Because at the end of the day, he have a job coming in from Bouncing Williamson, an organized store that is selling the ship.
His work is guaranteed.
So you don't have to line up.
His work is guaranteed to the company he works for.
What's that?
His work is guaranteed to the company that he works for.
Okay, cool. For the company that he works for. So when he comes to make a decision for taxi drivers, he shouldn't get caught up in it. But you see, they think they know how things is supposed to run, and we're supposed to sit back because we ain't got a vision to know how the country's supposed to run. I am taxing for 30 years plus. I used to work for your company at one time. I'll say that now because people think that you just get out there and you're so good at what you do and you never used to work for nobody. And no, I'm going to tell the world I used to work for you. And
If you use my name.
What's that?
If you use my name, say your name Socrates.
Yeah. But let's don't talk about that now. We need it for another forum because it's very serious where I'm getting here.
Go ahead.
For the general public and the world to know that. For taxing for 30 years, I, as an individual, never go to the back and sign up and put my name on no the board to say, well, I come for a job today. Because I've been creative in all that I do. I am not heading swell. I create the safari tours. I create drinks and tours. Because, that's how I deal with things.
You're one of our more innovative operators in the port. I have to give you that, and I respect you for that. One of the most innovative operators in terms of business at Port Zante, even over Jacta.
Thank you, Socrates. I am saying to you, Socrates, and the general public, and the people I'm listening around the world. Now, we are creating, the ministers are creating an atmosphere for the store owners that they don't want us in the circle there because they maybe want the people to come by the store first. But also in the store, having to give them the same room they're talking that we give them on the bus, and Coke, and water, and Sprite, and they sit and they buy whatever they want. But that could be done when we come back. So they're looking at, they're always coming people country to look at where they could muzzle the people that live there. And it's a situation that taxi drivers have to stand up for. Yeah, they say no. Team Unity had in place, Mr. Grant had in place to stop taxi drivers from walking around on the port. But he didn't instill it. And she will say that it's in the law. I need not for the Minister of Government, the Minister of Tourism, when she gets in a meeting, to speak down to me or anybody. Because she is a servant of the people. She needs to understand that. Now, well, she courthouse and then telling you, you leave in the room and telling you be silent as you leave. She's out of order.
Okay.
She's out of order because I was speaking to myself when I leave in the room, and I had to tell her leaving because of how people are putting things in place. And they already, Socrates, they come and say they're just doing twist stuff. But they already have a decision because when Trini said, oh, you should put people in the back, she said, that is what we're going to do for the upcoming season. They don't have it in place with UDC.
I see.
They're still going to take the monkey guys them and put them up in the area there by dealing with where you smoke and booze.
Mm-hmm.
No, I am not calling on the monkey guy, but at the same time, they're not paying enough tax like we. They're paying ahead how much monkey picture they're going to tax them. But they want to tax taxi drivers for how many persons they have on the boat. On the other hand of it, when the guest them comes in, the guest them still pay head tax at $10 US to come to the country. And when you're leaving with the guest them, you still got to pay $1.50. They say it's something that they free, but it's something that they don't want to put on the books. But they come and try to cross to us thinking that, well, okay, would you accept it or would you not accept it? We're not going to accept those things because at the same time we pay for seminars for taxis every year. We pay for decals to get on the pier. Something that you must have in your vehicle. We pay to do different things with tourism. And the money is only for 6 months. The Minister of Tourism sat in the meeting and said she have in her office applicants for 400 more taxi drivers. Well, I want new taxi drivers that are coming. I welcome you guys. I am not going to matter if you ask me a question, I'll tell you. But I welcome you guys. But you still got to understand, when there's 6 months from October to April, and then from April back down to October, there's no taxi business. Everybody got to be in the airport. Everybody got to be at the Marriott. Everybody got to be down in the circus. So there's no. If you look at it,
Michael.
in the business.
Michael. She did say currently there are no plans or immediate plans to bring in those figures.
Well, I'm saying to you, Socrates is a bad idea. Don't try to let people think that it's a good idea to come and be a taxi driver, and at the end of the day, 6 months, no work is there, and then you got to be paddling something else. I selling CMOS out of Escalade. I selling grills on the side of the road. I barbecuing down at the night market. I still got to go on the side of the road to meet the demands of the bank and do other things to get that money when it's very slow. What are they going to do? What are you going to do when you have a taxi paying TDC $2,000 a month and for high season and then so season you don't see no money coming in. Don't let nobody, no minister could prep the ear and say, oh, we got hotel thing. The hotel is going to be over there empty every 6 months. They need people that's going to speak this thing. And then they got everybody, let me tell Sinkin and the whole world. I'm not under a PAM umbrella. I'm not under a Labour umbrella. Whatever clothes I want to wear, I wear because I feel comfortable in the clothing. And whatever color I want to display, I display. But nobody brand me nobody, right? I am saying nobody brand me nobody because at the end of the day, when you want to live for God, you still can't say you're a PAM and you're a Labour because people got this enviness in them. I don't have no enviness. Whatever color you be, or whatever color you want to be, you be. Don't nobody brand me and say it because I have a business where PAM people call me or Labour people call me. I go in because I walk in. So I really don't want nobody to brand me with no party and say, oh, it's this and oh, it's that. Get out of my face because if you're not
We hear you clearly. We hear clearly.
In the country, huh?
So we hear you clearly on that.
So, okay, good. But I'm saying to you, I'll come back.
Give me a wrap up.
What are you guys doing, Socrates, as a leader in the taxi fraternity? I want to know, what are you guys doing about this situation? Because here Lemmet said they're not going to take it like that. I heard the next individual say they're going to sign a petition. What are you up on to deal with the situation when it comes to the Minister of Tourism? Because she come there at the meeting and start laying out stuff, saying that it's something that they're trying out, but at the end of the day, they still don't have it in enforcement because I see a guy get a job at the hospital to do security. And for them getting the job at security, they still come back out and put a tender to say you could actually try and get a job. So they put the horse, they put the cat before the horse. They're doing a lot of wrong things. And people
Michael.
in this country and look at them doing a lot of wrong things. And are you going to live with it? They're going to live with nothing that any government, don't care, Labour, Unity, PAM, do.
Michael.
I don't like, I'll work around it and get it done. So I personally think that I want to know. Tell me what I didn't hear you discuss anything.
The two other presidents and myself have been in consultation. They did say that it's really proposals, and of course you could take it at its face value or not. But we will sit with the relevant bodies and discuss this, so it's not a done deal. Other people have different... It's not a done deal.
Okay.
It is not a done deal. Right?
Okay.
Other people's persons have different way of approaching to deal with issue. You would have seen me in the past. Right? But a different approach is required. We will sit with the minister, the relevant bodies, and we'll come to, I won't say compromise, but an equitable understanding as how things can work, what's practical or not. So it's not something being forced down. Well, I don't know what was intent, because we were asked to be part of a consultative approach in crafting the policy down there.
Yeah, but look,
so with those 20 recommendations here and there, the recommendation, the suggestion, when it comes to the final draft, we will have our input because we represent not only yourself, they are members of the organization, they're not members, we represent the whole body. Make sense?
Well, you remember hearing us say that when Trini get up and say, oh, we should put everybody in the back and nobody should be in the circle. She get up and she said that, oh, that is what we're thinking about doing for the upcoming season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that they're saying that they're going to just trying out to say. But I'm saying to you, another question I need to ask you on the ear, Socrates, because a lot of people need to approach stuff because they fear what the government going to do to them. They may fear about what the government or nobody going to do to me based on asking truthful and honest questions because at the end of the day, may practice in the life. So I'm going to ask you a truthful question. Now, there's a situation that I went along and asked a question about the situation where she was, the Minister of Tourism was trying to change into a loan when it was supposed to be a grant. So I want to know where you guys are on that because speak to the other, not the actors, but the other guy framed about the matter and he said that you all supposed to have a meeting with the Prime Minister. Is it so?
Yes, the Prime Minister gave us 2 meetings to audiences. And we're supposed to go back to him. We're supposed to go back to, he gave us 2 meetings already. And we are supposed to go back to him and discuss what we have to discuss.
Socrates, don't lay up on it, right? Please don't lay up on it, because at this time, when I said in the interview that I had that this time, like no,
we need to wrap up. We need to wrap up, all right? Because we have to go to a station break. So wrap it up for me, please.
Thanks for your time, Socrates.
Okay. Okay, Michael B. Thanks for the call.
Thanks for listening.
Not a problem. We have to pause for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Horseman Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Horseman Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time opportunity to snag the appliance of your dreams at 20% off and get double cashback coupons with every purchase. Don't miss out. The Horsewood Furniture and Appliances major appliances sales event, where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on the biggest discounts on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and microwaves. Hurry in today and make your home a major delight. Major savings, major discounts, 20% off on major appliances, plus double cash back for free groceries. Happening now at Horsewood Furniture and Appliances. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back coupons to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horseman's Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horseman Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this, riddle that. Horseman Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
Hot button issues, it appears. Good afternoon once again. We're back with voices. And judging by the tone of the last caller, it is a burning issue. The things that he addressed about operations at Port Zante, how it would affect his business and that of other drivers. The whole thing about having all the taxi drivers go down to the secondary dispatching point by the taxi stand. That was done before. It's nothing new. We were relegated and confined to stay down there, and the talking was that the merchants down there had a problem with taxi drivers down the corridor because it was interfering with the flow of business. And so we were assigned to that one area, and there were police officers assigned to patrol and even arrest you if you found on the corridor. I led a petition. I got some signatures, and I protested that. So it's nothing new. And the politics always plays into this because one person, now deceased, said to me, before I embarrass his government, he will bring down his coasters, because he had coasters, and his guns. He had a license for firearm, right? One of the other person who had coasters and gun also join the protest. I said, but sir, calling his name, you already signed the petition. He said, yeah, but I didn't understand. So I understand that every driver have a right to express how he feels about whatever changes are to be implemented are being discussed. But I've been here before, and I know there are ways of dealing with things. You get numbers, and you stage your protest or whatever, and you get your results. Let's go back to the phone lines. Call the 11 Voices.
Hi, good afternoon, the King.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
Yes, and good afternoon to the listeners from and abroad. I, too, attended the meeting on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, I made no bones about it. I stood up 3 times concerning the issues that was raised. I listened to Mr. Matthews just before the lunch break, and I gleaned from what he said there. Similarly, on a matter that I had a concern with, whereas one of the presenters, Daniel, the assistant, yes,
Director of Tourism,
yes,
mm-hmm.
she came up and she explained some of the proposed amendments, and that
the
was all
rationale
fine and
behind
good.
them.
But later down in the conversation, when Minister Marsha Henderson started to more get involved, I sensed something totally different, and so I raised it because what it seems like after the proposed, remember they presented a document there with I think it fall under the traffic law. With plates to do with license plates.
Yes, I don't have my copy at the moment, but you're correct.
Yes. I have a copy of it, and I'm trying to get some advice as to those in the legal fraternity, the jurisprudence will know best, you know. But from time to time, one will have amendments to different pieces of legislation and of the sort.
That is correct.
For me, that is fine. But I don't think that when certain things would be amended, it would have affected certain in our stead. I am here already, and what I sense at the final analysis is that there is going to be a re-registration. That is what I gleaned from that part of the conversation, and I don't think that it should be. Like Mr. Matthew said, that if someone violating the traffic laws, ticket them. And it came, and it would be a proposed amendment in the sense that what Daniel explained is that there are persons who have on a taxi, a T, mm-hmm. They would have probably paid for the permit that they have one time.
Mm-hmm.
They go and they pay their inland revenue for the upkeep of the business license,
mm-hmm.
but they don't come down to the tourism authority and pay for the permit.
Yep.
My point and what I said, like, you know the persons you have a data. Why inculcate the whole fraternity, the amount of members who are law-abiding with the few? You're going to spread the net wide and bring in everybody who are innocent just to get at the few? And then her response was to it is that persons with an S, in the audience are speaking about some lawsuit. That is when Mr. Austin got up and said, no, it's not persons, it's I who said it. Recall that?
Of course. But I'll let you share the information.
Yes. And so that part of it, of course, Minister Henderson was asking for recommendations. And why not? Because we are members of the fraternity. And
mm-hmm.
if we can, and we give recommendations from time to time
mm-hmm.
for the upkeep, because we are stakeholders likewise. Okay? So that is where my... And it was a wide array of issues that was there. But that was one of, not the first one, because the first one I got up and spoke about was how it should not be cumbersome. It should not be cumbersome to allow, because some businesses, as we grew up knowing small businesses that were family oriented, and as we speak right now, there are members of the fraternity that have their own family oriented transportation.
But what
so in order to facilitate other members of a family or persons who are showing interest in a family, especially your offspring, your sons and daughters, that should be able to be facilitated.
Yes, but what's explained? What
So
explained to you about that particular procedure? You
I
can't.
understand that.
You
I
can.
understand the part.
Okay.
That wasn't as more important, although it was, as other matters that was raised. For instance, the one that I raised there earlier about having all of the members re-register for because of an amendment to a legislation, a certain piece of a legislation, which is just a small part of the traffic law. I don't see that. So I'm seeking some advice from someone in the know as to how, give me a, walk me through this piece of law. And if it is amended, would all of us have to re-register? She assured me, but I don't want the assurance for myself alone.
Okay.
I am a person who deals with solidarity towards a body for a collective outcome. So I'm not in a vacuum all by myself.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
that is one of the points that I raised.
Okay.
But I take Mr. Matthews' position, and I'm the one that always have the last resort for any industrial action. That is me. That's my approach. So I'm going to be guided by you guys, the president.
Hear loud and clear. Appreciate that.
And we go forward.
Okay.
But bet you, I'll be there. I have been, and I will continue to be.
Much appreciated.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.
One of the challenges we have is we have a very large body of operators, and the majority of which are not registered with any of the associations. So when the presidents go forward to represent the membership, they're not included. They make no input, etc., etc. Of course, they're individual owners. They're entitled to whatever status they want to conduct the business under. But we will need your input, your support. Just give us something to work with, and we will try to represent that if it makes sense. We go back to the phone lines. Caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, good afternoon, the King. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you.
Same to you. Thank God it's Friday.
That's right. But I understand, right, that, he want to make a little change in the taxi arena. Well, with our age, I don't mind, because I myself would mumble and say some people in the good world, they could just go home and rest, Now with age, not your soccer, with the age yet.
I up there too,
Yeah, you ain't reach up there yet. So, with the party ain't bad, but with the other organizing thing. You know what I'm to soccer? Yeah, that's about go to the back and go to the back. Because you're there since the port open. It's right next door to you, the taxi free thing was, It's right, they're supposed to be where they put fat shoes, the tin shoes, bony shoes,
Yeah.
And all because of greed. Who was Minister of Government before 2015? They just take it and they sold it.
The sold that was the parking lot. As you exited the arrival hall, left with that area was designated as the parking lot for taxi drivers. It was sold, and then we were put down at the back, at the very back. So, out of sight, out of mind.
Anybody put your big bin, so you're doing good. You're going to tell the customers and come to the back here. We don't have nobody see you. You crazy? They're supposed to be to the front of the shop when everybody passes to me. But it's bar looking good, man. She got 10. She got 15. She got 20 people there. Boy, I don't know. Because the greed man, they do some craziness, you know.
Don't call any names. We know who you're talking to.
Huh?
Don't call any names. We know who you're referring to. We know the administration
yeah,
under which this thing just went south.
Yeah, the man, now you're hearing, going over keys, they're going to the west, to the east. Certain part of they just sell out to the Chinese. What happened? So what you can't walk, go down the bed and go play and catch two little sorry bum, nothing. Somebody
Chris
told
Collins
me
on the
the other
case.
day, all across here from going back from Keys going to Kayon.
Yeah.
And I remember you had some little really, you know, thing land to the back down there and going to the engine line way. So I don't know what happened to this greedy. They said they're going to run the country and look, they sell out the whole country. Doing more stupidness or more they want.
Bernice,
They don't.
I have a band, you know, I have a Legends band that could have you come on stage and sing the song. It's not like you sing Calypso.
I came over there, was traced by the
Band house?
place of the dock.
Mm-hmm.
Made a video. My good old man go on there. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, man. Then that's what humble. That was the ideal place for that.
Yeah, it was sold, and that creates a problem. So they're really trying to find a central point for us.
That what happened with sit back.
One of the problems is the volume of drivers who are dependent on the trade. We cannot be contained in that one area. And so we're allowed to go down there to the left of the map house and come around there. There's that dispatching point. It's a feeder point for a lot of folks who work in the system. Those who do not work within the system are to the front of the building. And many of the passengers, they have gotten the word that it's cheaper outside. Example, we charge, say, $25 for a full island tour per person. They will charge 15 and they negotiate among themselves. And it's a problem, but they are really trying to find a solution. So when next we sit and discuss with that, we'll be trying to come up with a consensus. What is being proposed right now may not be feasible, but we're still talking. This is the way I look at it. This is the way I look at it. Huh?
What about the ticket to me? It sounds a little, you know,
the ticket, the suggestions about the ticket is that when you come to the port, because we do get a ticket at the moment, when they inspect your vehicle, you're given a ticket. When you go down to the dispatching point, when you're getting your job, you exchange that ticket with the dispatchers. So they get your ticket because this says, my vehicle has been inspected, I am qualified for a job. So they want to expand on that now. You get the ticket when you go to the port after you've been inspected. And when you go to the dispatching point and you're given your job, you're now leaving the port, you have to present that now to whatever security official to say, well, I was given the job within this dispatching system. Right?
Oh.
Somebody asks, well, I don't work in that system, I work at the front. What if somebody walk up to me with, say, 8 persons that want to go on a tour? And they were told, unless you have that ticket stamped by official, you won't be allowed to leave. And that's it.
They take off.
Right? So
they take off the customers then, but it's a ticklish one, you know.
And it's left for drivers to come and make the input and say if it's to work or make a recommendation. Well, that can work, but this can work. At the end of the day, before the season starts, we have to have something workable in place.
Work out something. What about the circus? If they're going there, they start to do a little vendor, you know, to come to the
circus is also a taxi prescribed area, and the whole issue, because I spoke to Ross a while ago. If he comes to work daily, he parks in the circus, and he sits there all day saying nothing, because you're told he can't solicit. But if Bernice passes, and he says, Bernice, you want a taxi? What is that illegal? So that's a whole different thing that we'll have to work itself out. Because soliciting is what you have a license to do, to solicit business.
You got to leave the circus, man, because that's a customary thing. It's like a college there, you know. I remember the days of Moonlight when he was alive. I down there till all 11, 12 in the night, you know.
Yes, it was a college.
Yeah, because you sit around and Moonlight will give you a lot of old-time history.
Bouncing and
stuff.
Stanley Franks Jr., those guys, you know, that's where you gather to discuss policies, politics, and the latest development of the country.
Yeah, and you jam them to talk about it, that it is like a college, and, you know, up to now I can't get over it. If I go to town, I make my rounds, I go right there and sit down, you know, and cool out. You wouldn't believe it. I went there Wednesday, and I stayed there until about after 6 going to 7 tonight.
Lucky People News. Anyway, Lucky People News.
I my bill, but then I lie me off there, cause
All right.
that's my, favorite spot. When you come from a 4th Street, you want to rest and whatever. You just think, I hope that walk out this taxi arena
A
thing.
point
good here
of
because
nostalgia. Anyway, we got a few minutes before we wrap things up, so I want to have an station break. So thank you for your contribution, and we'll be right back after the station break.
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Horsewood Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Horsewood Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time opportunity to snag the appliance of your dreams at 20% off and get double cashback coupons with every purchase. Don't miss out. The Horsewood Furniture and Appliances major appliances sales event, where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on the biggest discounts on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and microwaves. Hurry in today and make your home a major delight. Major savings, major discounts, 20% off on major appliances, plus double cash back for free groceries. Happening now at Horsewood Furniture and Appliances. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Riddle this, riddle that. Horsewood Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back for free groceries with every hire purchase. Will be given back this coupon season. Happening now. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash back coupons to all our hire purchase customers this coupon season. Starting now until December 2023. You get absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase at our Horsewood Furniture and Appliances stores on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. So riddle this. Where can you get quality furniture and appliances at great prices with a flexible FlexPlay plan and with absolutely free groceries with every hire purchase? Riddle that. Cashback at Horsewood Furniture and Appliances on St. Kitts Nevis and our Ashley Home Store on St. Kitts. Riddle this, riddle that. Horsewood Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is giving you over $250,000 in cashback and a chance to win free groceries for a year. Riddle that cashback. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
With roughly 3 minutes to go before close of play today, I want to remind all nationals and visitors out there, just enjoy the rest of this beautiful Friday. It's a weekend, it's payday for many. Guys are downtown, just by my friend from Simars, drinking up the stuff. Just be safe. Let's take this last call and see what we can learn. Call the 11 Voices.
Yes, good afternoon, the King.
Yes, sir, how are you?
The King, I've been trying to get in for...
I believe you.
Something to program started.
I believe you. Go ahead.
I felt like my call was being barred.
No. We don't know who's calling. There's no intention for that.
I have two questions for you, the King.
Quickly.
Now, from the two of your taxi callers make statement as to the observation of the meeting. Now, the first caller this morning, the first taxi caller says that his observation is that the minister is shutting down the taxi people in the meeting. And the other caller stated that he used words like being targeted. My question to you, the King, as a president, have you observed any of these patterns in the minister in these meetings? I would listen for your comment after here. Thank you.
Okay. You asked if I observed any of what the two other callers observed or mentioned that they observed with the minister in the way she addresses the meeting. The targeting thing, I'm not sure about. You have to show intent that there's some reason, because I did ask the caller to more or less elaborate on this targeting thing. He says that's his impression. In terms of the shutting down, it has been said that while you're speaking, the minister speaks over you and cuts you off. So that's what they're referring to. You asked me if I observe it. Yes, I have. But they're way to deal with things, because sometimes she will say, like, okay, get to the point, or anything else. And they feel that's condescending and that's cutting off the speaker. She have a ready answer before you finish your statement. So that's what they're talking about. Okay? If that answers the question, I'm sorry you didn't get in earlier, because we could have, get into that a bit more. But it's now 1:30, and here's where we come to the end of the program. I was saying that it's a beautiful weekend downtown. We need to do a rain dance. We actually need some rain. But that's the part. We want to wish our people a very safe, productive weekend. Enjoy Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, be up bright and early, back to work. Let's hope that it's incident-free, what I'm referring to as the band plays on, okay? So peace, love, and a much brighter tomorrow. See you on Monday.
Get ready for the biggest sales event of the year. It's the Horsewood Furniture and Appliances major sales event, where we're slashing prices by 20% off on all major appliances. Are you looking for amazing deals on refrigerators, stoves, large appliances, washing machines, and even microwaves? Well, look no further. From the latest models to top brands, Horsewood Furniture and Appliances has it all at unbeatable prices. Whether you're upgrading your kitchen or replacing old appliances, this is the perfect opportunity to get major savings and save big. These deals won't last forever. This is a limited time